We're about to try and squeeze 4.5 billion years of chaos, creation, and cataclysm into just a few minutes. This is the story of how our planet went from a literal ball of fire to the world you're on right now. Let's dive in. So let's rewind the clock way, way back. 4.5 billion years ago, our home was completely unrecognizable. And to really get what our planet would become, you first have to picture what it wasn't.
Yeah, you know that iconic blue marble photo from space? Just erase that from your mind for a second. The early Earth was a totally alien world, painted in all these wild colors of fire and molten rock.
I mean, just try to imagine a planet that was a constantly churning, boiling sphere, a truly hostile place where the ground itself was liquid rock. And all the things we kind of take for granted today, totally absent. There were no seas to sail on, no cool water to drink, just this super heated, empty landscape under a toxic, airless sky. I mean, nothing could possibly survive here. And in this world of just pure, raw, geological chaos, there was absolutely no life, not a single living thing. So how in the world did we go from that to, well, this? Well, it all kicks off with one of the most violent periods in our solar system's history. The story of our planet really is a story of cosmic collisions. It all started with just dust and rock circling the young sun. Gravity did its thing, pulling these bits and pieces together, making bigger and bigger chunks until a planet was formed. But this whole process was anything but gentle. Earth was getting constantly hammered by asteroids. And then came the big one. A rogue planet, about the size of Mars, slammed directly into Earth. The impact was so unbelievably massive that it blasted a huge amount of debris into orbit, which eventually came together to form our moon. So after all that craziness finally started to settle down, the planet began to change. The stage was being set for what is single-handedly the most important event in Earth's history. After millions of years of cooling off, the planet was ready for its next big makeover. All this water vapor that was trapped in the atmosphere started to condense, and it began to rain. And I'm not talking about a quick shower. This was a downpour that lasted for millennia, thousands and thousands of years. This epic, planet-wide rainstorm is what filled all the basins and craters, giving birth to the world's very first oceans. And it's right here, in the darkness of these primordial waters, where the story takes its most incredible turn. Something was about to appear. Life. But don't picture some giant sea monster. No, the first life was super simple, just microscopic bacteria. But these tiny little organisms, they were total game changers. You could even call them planetary engineers. Starting about 3.5 billion years ago, they began producing oxygen as a waste product. And by doing that, they slowly terraformed our entire world, changing the atmosphere and paving the way for all the complex life that would come later. Now, for billions, and I mean billions of years, life just stayed simple, microscopic. But then, bam, in what is basically a blink of an eye in geological time, everything changed. It was like evolution suddenly hit the fast-forward button. It's called the Cambrian explosion. So around 540 million years ago, the basic blueprints for life just got totally rewritten. That slow, steady pace of evolution was just shattered by this incredible burst of biological creativity, leading to the rapid appearance of complex animals. All of a sudden, the oceans became this wild laboratory for evolution. The first real fish showed up, creatures developed these armored shells for protection, and for the very first time, we had active predators hunting in the waters. The game of life had brand new and much more interesting rules. This explosion of life wasn't going to just stay in the water, though. It eventually crawled onto land, and that set the stage for probably the most famous chapter in Earth's history, a time when a new group of animals would rise up and completely dominate the entire planet. 160 million years. Just let that number sink in for a minute. That is how long the dinosaurs ruled the Earth. From massive plant eaters bigger than buses to the most fearsome predators the world has ever known. They were the undisputed kings. But their incredible reign came to a sudden, catastrophic end. 66 million years ago, a giant asteroid, miles wide, slammed into the planet. This impact kicked off what we now call the Cretaceous-Paleogene extinction event. The immediate effect was absolutely devastating. So much dust and debris got thrown into the atmosphere that it literally blocked out the sun. Without sunlight, the plants died. Without plants, the herbivores starved. And without herbivores, the carnivores followed. The entire global food chain just collapsed. The dinosaurs were wiped out. Well, almost. A few survived, and today we call them birds. So, with the giants gone, the world was suddenly open. This was the moment for a different kind of animal to step out of the shadows and inherit the earth. Mammals, small, furry creatures that have lived in the dinosaurs' shadow for millions of years, finally got their chance. They exploded in diversity, evolving into everything from whales to primates. But where do we fit into this picture? Okay, you see that massive bar? That's the dinosaurs' reign. Now look at that tiny, almost invisible little sliver at the very end. That's us.
Modern humans, Homo sapiens, we've only been around for about 300,000 years. On the grand, sweeping scale of Earth's history, we've existed for less than the blink of an eye. It's almost nothing.
And here's the incredible thing, the contrast. In that tiny, tiny sliver of time, we have fundamentally changed this planet. We've built sprawling cities, we've developed world-altering technology, and we've created these incredibly complex civilizations. Our impact has been immense. So that's our story, from a burning ball of lava to the first microscopic life, through the age of giants to the rise of mammals, and finally us. It's an epic 4.5 billion year journey. And the thing is, the story isn't over. We are writing the current chapter right now. The dinosaurs had their reign for 160 million years. So the question is, what will ours be remembered for?